You're crazy if you aren't sourcing the Cyber Monday deals that are happening right now. Let's do some live sourcing so I can show you exactly how to find these deals. Let's jump in. All right, so today we are looking at the Cyber Monday deals. It is Cyber Monday, but the deals are going to last all week. So you can apply this information all the way through the week and into December, because the deals are just going to continue here and there. They're going to run sales on weekends and stuff. So don't be worried if you think you ran out of time. There's always going to be a bunch of sales in December as well. So we're using Keepa Product Finder. We're going to go through some searches to help us find these deals. And then we're going to look for not specifically the deals, but we're going to look for products that the deals might apply to or be profitable for. So we're just going to go down the list here, look at all of the Keepa Product Finder searches, and then hopefully go and look at some of those products with the searches that we found. So we're going to start simple here. We're going to go max sales rank. We're going to look at some pretty fast moving products. We'll go like 75,000 max. And then the simplest way to find the products that are, dropping in rank or increasing in velocity, we're going to look at the 90-day drops percentage. So that's going to look at how much did the sales rank drop over the last 90 days. And we actually want to go, a 0% drop, right, to a basically a 99% drop. But if we actually want to find products that are only decreasing, we can start with like 10%, right? 10% drop in the last 90 days up to a 99% drop, which would be, a super big drop, like a million rank down to like 5,000, which we won't see a ton of those products, but that's what this 90-day drops percentage, that's how to explain it best. So that's all we're going to do here. Again, we're going to do a maximum current rank of 75,000 with the drop of at least 10% drop up to a 99% drop in the sales rank over the last 90 days. All right, buy box price. We're going to go actually put a minimum on this just so we're not looking at products that are too hard to find, super cheap. So we're going to actually just go with a $15 minimum here. If we go any lower, again, then we have to find stuff for like $2, $3 to be profitable, and we don't want to mess around with those types of products. So we're just going to look at that buy box price, minimum $15. And then again, we want to find products that are increasing in price. If products are increasing in price, that any of that base price that we're finding this on a website is going to be more and more profitable. So if that buy box is increasing and our base price for purchasing it from here, we're just going to get more margin. So the 90-day drops percentage, now we want to go in reverse for the drops, right? Because we want to see an increase over the last 90 days. So we're actually going to go negative 100 all the way to say negative 10. And let me explain that a little bit. So a negative 100% drop is basically 100% increase over the last 90 days, basically down to a 10% increase over the last 90 days. So if we wanted to go even further, we could go, 999, and then that's, almost 1,000% increase, down to a 10% increase over the last 90 days. But that's how we get the buy box price to go up over time. Amazon, we're going to leave this out of stock button because, again, they might be in stock on certain items, but they will probably go out of stock on a lot of things come mid-December. So we don't want to weed out any of those products because there could be a ton of them that we're missing out on. So let's keep scrolling down here. We're going to go all the way down to the category, and we're going to pick a category that seems to always sell well during Christmas time, and that is going to be clothing. We can pick like a specific brand, Nike or Adidas, but those types of products are going to move super quickly this time of year. You can just see like Nike in general, Nike listings, they sell super quickly. And then once Christmas time hits, they drop, below 10,000, below 5,000 rank, and these products just fly. So we're going to actually put that in. And then we are going to search by a brand just to narrow this down a little bit because 150,000 products, way too many. So let's just search Nike and give ourselves a little bit less of a product category to look at. So down to 2,300 products, that's way more manageable. Now we're going to narrow this down a little bit further to remove some of these outliers. And then hopefully that gives us a list that we can start searching for. So let's scroll down a little bit further. All right. So for the offer count, it's a little bit different. So we have Nike selected. So that's the specific brand. So there isn't going to be any, private label sellers. There's not going to be any wholesale. So we don't really need to put a minimum, because if there are only one seller's on the Nike listing, that just means that there's not a lot of stock or not a lot of sellers on that listing. Doesn't mean that it's a wholesale product or a private label, because you can't private label Nike or wholesale Nike. So We're going to leave that blank, but we maybe want to put a maximum on the number of sellers on the listing, right? If we want to find listings that are increasing in price and the offer count is going down, we can set a maximum of say 10, or we can set a maximum of 20. Let's try 20 and see. Okay, so we dropped a little bit, but not a ton. And then again, we're going to go to that 90-day drops percentage. We're going to look at, so we want to see a drop in the offer count. So all these will be positive. So again, we want to see maybe a 10% drop up to a 99% drop in the offer count over the last 90 days. If we really wanted to get specific, we could go 7-day drops percentage, right? If we really think products have increased in velocity over the last 7 days or even the last 30 days, then we can narrow that down. We're going to keep it wide with 90 days just because maybe some products haven't quite dropped yet, super hard as of recently. But maybe in like 2 weeks, we can start looking at the 30-day drop or the 90-day, or the 7-day drop and get really specific on those types of products. But just doing that, we can see now we're down to 1,300 products, which is a pretty manageable list. It's still going to take a while to get through those, but we could probably skip through some listings that aren't going to be good for us. So we will keep scrolling down here. Okay, so now we're down to the 90 days out of stock percentage for Amazon. And we want to make sure that Amazon is out of stock at least 50%. So we'll go 51% to 100. And that should weed out some of those listings that maybe Amazon is on 100%. So Amazon doesn't sell Nike traditionally, so they shouldn't be on a lot of these listings. But if you're searching other brands, right, this is what you want to set this to. So this isn't just specifically for Nike. This is if you're looking at any brand in general. So we're going to look at this here. Again, it didn't weed out a ton of products because Amazon shouldn't be on a lot of Nike listings. Sometimes they have inventory randomly here and there that they're in on. But most of the time, Amazon is going to be out of stock on Nike specifically. So this is going to be for other brands that you're looking at. And then that is basically all of the criteria that we need to set here. So we have a list of 1,300 products, specifically Nike products, that we can look for. And all the sales are running. So let's actually do this search here and look at some of these products. And I'll go through some of them to see if we can find anything profitable, or at least show you how I'm searching on websites to find these products. So we can see this overall search here. We can sort by certain categories that are going to give us a good chance of looking into products. So sometimes what I like to do is look at the most expensive buy box products. Because again, if you have a $100 buy box compared to a $20 buy box, you just have more margin on the purchase price before you are below your ROI threshold. So we're going to actually sort by the buy box price here. So that's the low price. We're going to look at the high price. You can see 600. Okay, so it's going to have a bunch of shoes here. One thing we could do if we want to remove those shoes is so we can go back to advanced filter and we can actually go to the buy box price and we can filter this down a little bit, right? If we wanted to eliminate some of those really expensive shoe listings, because again, we're not looking at shoe listings maybe, or we just don't want to take on the risk of buying a $100 shoe, selling it for $200, it gets returned, right? And then you're missing out on $100. So maybe we can set our max cost to maybe $100. You can play around with that number to see how many products it gives you. But right there, it brings our number down quite a bit here. So, we can play around with this lower half too. If we want to go a little bit more expensive, we can go $20, up to $100. Let's just take a look at that. That basically cut our product list in half, and it might give us, some products that we actually care to see. So we're still sorting by that top buy box price. It's going to be some shoes in here, but let's take a look and see if we can find non-shoe items and see if we can find these profitably. So let's open up some of these. So what we can do is hover, and that's going to show us the Keepa chart here. We can see that product's really inflated in price, but maybe there's a reason for that. So what we can do is click that little A button. It's going to open up the Amazon listing here, and then we're going to look at the details of this product to see, why is the price so inflated? Maybe the offer count's really low, and then maybe we can find this profitably. So let's scroll all the way down and look at the Keepa chart right away. So we can see the product historically was selling at $79. Price jumped up to 98 when there's really not a ton of sellers on the listing. And the sales rank hasn't really dropped a ton. I mean, we see it up at 100 a little bit a couple weeks ago, a month ago. And now we're kind of slowly trending down towards that 50K rank. But let's look at the variations, make sure we have the right one. Make sure this one that we have here that's inflated actually sells. So one thing that I like to look at is not specifically how many total ratings it has, because certain items were listed longer than other items, and they might just by default have more reviews because they've been listed longer. But we do want to look at, are the ratings going up over time, especially in the last 3 months, because that means they definitely are selling. Like we know this one, here has gone up recently from, 668 all the way up to 674 in ratings over the last like month or so. So that definitely means this product is selling. Compared to something like this, maybe that flat line shows us that it's not selling as fast. This doesn't, equate to zero sales, right? But maybe it tells us that the black large is selling a little bit faster than the small. And then we can scroll down and see some of these. So we can see that expensive price here, right? The 90s. We don't see many ratings going up. So that's what we want to look for here. So we see that 95. I think that's the one we were looking at, the small. And we do see a ratings go up a little bit. So what we can do on a product like this is if we really wanted to, we can buy just the a couple product. So what we can do on a product like this is to do a test buy, right? Because when you're merchant fulfilling things, you're going to understand if test buys are worth going deeper on pretty quickly. If you list the product, sells right away, right? You buy 5 units, they sell on the same day. Definitely go and buy more of those products if you're still finding it profitably, because you're going to be able to sell more of those if you can stay in stock. So it looks like this one still has a lot of ratings total, but it doesn't look like we've gone up in ratings a ton over the last 90 days. You can look, see it hasn't gotten any reviews either. No, this product's been listed for a while. So again, maybe there's a reason why this product is a little bit lower on the rating scale. Maybe it's listed too high, right? People aren't willing to pay $95 when they can pay, 78, 75 for basically just a little bit different color. So maybe that's a buying decision that those people are making. But we're going to look at this anyway, just to see if we can find it profitably here. Want to hover. We do have the small. Okay, so we're going to look at that small listing, right? We have the small here. And then I'm going to show you how we can look for this product using Seller Amp to see if we can find it for around that $55 max cost. So like we said, we looked at the chart, $79 up to $98. There's only a couple sellers in the listing, right? 3 currently. So if those 3 sellers don't have a ton of stock, which we can check their stock levels, somewhat of an estimate. Yeah, it doesn't look like they have a ton of stock. So if we want to test buy 5 of these, we will have the most stock and potentially get the buy box because they're all FBM sellers. So we have a good chance of getting the buy box here. So let's click this Google button here. It searches the title of this product with the variation size in Google. And if we want to modify this, we can, however we want it to, but it just auto pastes the title. So it makes it easier for us to search. So if we find this exact product, right, we want the zip up fleece hoodie. We can see Kohl's has it right around that price range we want, but not the right size and color. But let's open up Kohl's just to see if they have it. Okay, so they do have, that's the big and tall. Zip up Nike, looks like Nike's on sale too, potentially. So let's take a look at this here. Looks like it's the same product, full zip hoodie. All right, we have the full zip hoodie, and we just want to make sure we have Obsidian and then in the small. So this might just be navy, not obsidian, but let's just take a look here. Midnight navy. Yep. So that's a little bit different. We just want to make sure that it is obsidian. But what's cool is that all of these different sizes and colors are $70 with 25% off, which puts us at like that $52.50 range, like it showed here. So if we can actually look at maybe some of the quicker selling variations that are still in that $90 range, that might actually be something worth test buying. So we scroll down here, we can see the obsidian. We do see the gray, right? Heather gray, $98, $91 on the XL and the medium. So if they have the XL and medium in this gray here, this is dark heather gray, which is exactly what we want. And it looks like they have the medium and XL. So, but it doesn't look like we're on sale here. So they see the 25% off doesn't apply to this. So that's the tricky part, right? We just got to make sure that we're finding this. Looks like, yeah, the black, the midnight navy, the white is all, has that 25% off, but we're not getting it for the heather gray. So that obsidian, we got to keep looking here. Maybe we can see if Kohl's has obsidian. So let's open that in a new tab. And then does any other site have this product here? Kohl's, Foot Locker. Looks like they got the midnight navy. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we're getting that obsidian. So maybe upper 90, navy. It looks like navy. Yeah, they're all going to be navy. So you just want to make sure you have the exact product because you don't want to get an IP complaint on something that is close but not exact. We have charcoal heather. Yeah, it doesn't look like Kohl's has the right colors. So unfortunately, we're going to have to move on from this product, but we were close to finding it. And that was only the first product. We have 600 more to go. So let's keep scrolling, see if we can find something. Again, that same, a variation of that same sweatshirt is going to show up here. So let's keep looking. So we have this club jogger here. Looks like a super high buy box price. And we see a big drops percentage. So let's take a look at this one here. Okay, so we have this club jogger. It's jersey. It's not fleece. So we got to keep that in mind, right? We got to make sure we have the exact match because there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of fleece joggers. So we want to make sure that we have the jersey jogger because that is going to be the exact match. We don't want someone complaining that they didn't get the right one. So we'll look at the variations tab just to see where this one lines up. So this is large, tall, and it's the charcoal heather. So although this is a really good rank, we got to make sure that this product actually sells before buying, any stock of this. So it might take us a little bit to scroll. What we can do if there's a ton of variations and you can't find it, copy the ASIN and actually scroll on your Keepa variations and search, scroll over till you see ASIN and then click those three lines there, paste that in there, and it's going to bring you to the exact one. So we can see that only 6 reviews on this product, none over the last 90 days. All right, so because this variation doesn't sell very well, we're just going to see if we can find any other variations that are a little bit higher in buy box. We're going to sort by the buy box here. All right, so we can see that exact variation we were looking at, is the highest priced one, but doesn't look like it gets a ton of reviews or ratings. So what we can do is sort by that buy box price and then see if any of these are actually going up in ratings count. So this one, a little bit small, tall. So that's $89. That's still pretty good. So we can look at that one. Small, tall on the heather white. So maybe we can look at some of these just to see 2XL tall also as well. So all above $80. Let's look at the small and see if we can find that direct match. But it's a jersey. The jersey ones are actually a little bit cheaper than the fleece. Just so something to keep in mind here. So we can see $50. Let's Google this and see if we can find it. So we got Kohl's, $42. Now, is this going to be fleece, right? We want that jersey. So it looks like the jersey one is pretty cheap here, but we got to make sure that we can find that right size, and we need the tall version. So the only places I know that sell the tall is Nike and Kohl's. So we just got to make sure we have the right one here. Here's jersey. So let's look at Kohl's, see if we can find this profitably. Hopefully they have some of those extended sizes here, but we can see the tall ones, all they have is the 3XL. But we can check to see if the 3XL is actually, at a decent buy box price. And if it is, then we might be in luck here. So we have large, tall, small, tall. Again, we want 2X tall. We want 3X tall, which might be a little bit hard to find. But let's keep looking here. 3X tall. There we go. 74. Looks like it has gone up in ratings. 5, in the last month. So let's just take a look here, because we're getting this for $42 plus the 25% off. So I'll show you how we can calculate that. Okay, we're looking here. So there's not a ton of sellers on this listing, right? $74 seems to be that buy box price. It just came back. The buy box did actually. But this rank is really good. So we should be able to sell a couple of these if you just want to do a test buy. But we're looking at 42 with the 25% off. So we have that $42 times 0.75, right? That's 25% off. Puts us at $31.50 on that cost. Max cost is $42. So we got 73% ROI, $23 in profit. Again, if you buy 5 of these to test, you should be able to sell 5 over the course of December. So even if it takes a while to sell these, 5 of them is going to make you almost $120 profit. So really good product here. I think we're going to end on that. Glad we were able to find some profit using this method. If you guys want, save this video, come back to it to look at that Keepa product finder search, because I know it's going to help you find a ton of products during this Cyber Week, as well as, into December. It's going to help you a ton. So if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.